reimburse me for that body that you owe a nigga. Quiet down while we round them, I don't know them niggas. My trust go as far as I can throw a nigga. Yeah, big body on skinnies. I just bought a DIY hoodie with a stimmy. Only bought the yacht because they brought it out with titties. And they lying if they told you HGM and them ain't litty, nigga. Chinchilla coat kitty, nigga.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to All Things Female. I'm your host, The Fury of Abyss. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can already tell you that my lip gloss is going to try to act up. In about 35 minutes, I'm going to have a line right on the inside of my lips. So I'm going to have to wipe it off and reapply this. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting all week for this live. I'm so excited to talk to y'all about this. Okay, so check this out. This is what we finna do. Now, you know, on my channel, this is a healing channel. We are on a journey of self-development, okay? We're learning about healthy eating, spirituality, parenting, healing our, childhood trauma and all of that. And I'm a recovering addict. I had lost custody of my children for 8 years. I got them back. I was married for 20 years, and my marriage broke up because of our drug use. And after we both got out of rehab, my ex-husband and he died from an overdose, and I'm still here raising our children and healing from my past and building my businesses. I have a indie music label, Masters of Fate Music. It's mine, it belongs to me because I'm a music artist and I love to make music. I love to express myself authentically, and that's my major message, because I believe that our purpose here as people is to love and be loved and to get the freak out of this matrix, okay? Don't nobody want to keep being reincarnated here. So I spend most of my time, other than healing and cleaning and creating art and raising my children, deep in esoteric knowledge and hermetic principles and learning basically about all the stuff that Jesus learned about, okay? Did you know he studied Buddhism and Hinduism in India and Nepal between the ages of 12 and 30? Why aren't all Christians Buddhists then? I don't know. But this is the segue into what we are discussing. The universal laws and principles governing life. Can you see that? Okay. So now, when I get into these books, these ancient books and texts, it's not enough for me to read it. This whole journey of learning about God or any of these things, because I was brought up in the Christian church, but when I started asking questions about like our creation story, Adam and Eve, when things weren't adding up, because I would later find out that they took parts out of the Bible, shout out to the Gnostic Gospels, I got kicked out the church. They kicked me out of Sunday school for asking questions. So then I actually started studying history and learning about the most ancient texts that a lot of the stories that are in the Bible came from, like Sumerian texts, all types of stuff. I started learning about the Anunnaki and extraterrestrials, all types of stuff. Then I realized basically everything that we had been taught was a lie. So I had to look up what were the universal laws. Not just that, but like who wrote it. Okay, this is where we start. So the person that compiled this, his name is Tenzin Gyatso. He is a Buddhist monk that went to the Harvard School of Divination. Did you even know they had a school of divination? What the hell? This man, okay, has studied Hermeticism and how to manipulate energy. All the stuff that Jesus was studying. And he wrote 39 books. 39 books about how to manipulate energy and get up out this reincarnation loop. Well, honey, we finna study that. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to come back here. I want to manifest in my next life as something higher than a human. Like I don't want to be here. I don't want to come back here. I want to evolve. Don't you want to evolve? Ain't nobody trying to be in this fear matrix. This is number 2 in a series of 7 called Zero to Mastery. It's about how to manipulate energy. All that stuff Nikola Tesla was saying, like how he said everything is energy. It's very, very true. And when you start to look at everything through a spiritual lens, it lessens your anxiety and you realize there's nothing to be afraid of. And that's what this whole series is about. Because the Bible wasn't doing it for me. It made righteousness seem unobtainable. But these universal laws, these are practical ways for me to apply common sense to my life and not be worried and distracted and off my path. Okay, let's get into it. This is the handbook to the electricity and resistance book. Because I remember I told you this was one in a series of 7 about manipulating energy. So it says, this is a practical guide to transformation and understanding universal law. Through this book, no. Though this book is meant to be purchased with the electricity and resistance, yes, he goes into detail about how to manipulate electricity, work with it, about the power of resistance, all that other type of stuff. Is a standalone book in its own right. Since time has begun, we have been governed by universal law, and not until now have they been compiled in one place for easy reference. And you can print this out for free online. So then I did a little digging, and I'm like, okay, so who wrote the universal laws? There's no direct answer. Okay, researched this for 2 days. The best I could come up with was this. The universal laws are thought to be intrinsic, unchanging laws of our universe that are often associated with meditations for freedom and enlightenment. Because you know we all slaves here mentally, right? They can be attributed to Hermetic philosophy going back to ancient places like Egypt, Machu Picchu, and even cultures now being discovered that existed before the Great Deluge. Deluge, the Great Deluge means the Great Flood. Okay. So they can't even attribute this to one person. I ain't gonna hold you. I believe this was given to us by extraterrestrials, like most of our technology and ancient knowledge. So there's 12 of these, right? And I want to dig into them, but tonight there's 4 specifically that I've been applying to my life that have just really, really helped me deal with my stress. I'm gonna breeze through the first 3, and then 4, 5, and 6 are the ones that I really want to talk about. Okay. So the first one is the law of divine oneness. Everything we do, think, and say affects others and the universe around us. I just want to quickly say that makes me feel like I'm not alone. Because let's be real here, we're all human, and if you really need help, if your ass step out into the street and say help me, somebody gonna help you. Especially if you're a female. And my ex-husband taught me that. He was like, if you ever feel unsafe or you being followed, because you know he was a thug, so he had to put me down. So he was like, if you ever feel unsafe or anything like that, somebody following you, go up to a man, the biggest man you can find, and tell him that you need protection. He's gonna protect you. I don't care who he is. Just play off of that innate need for them to protect. People gonna help you. If you're hungry, somebody gonna feed you. Okay, we're all human. We're all down here. The law of divine oneness reminds me to be responsible with how I think, because when you think badly of someone, you're sending them a very negative frequency that can keep them trapped mentally. You ever be at work and you just get a pang of anxiety out the blue? You having a good day. Got your little M&Ms, got your water bottle, got your earbuds, got there early. What you talk about? That boss you can't stand took off today. Your day is going well, and then bang, anxiety. Where the hell did that come from? Well, when your little hating ass friends was on your Instagram seeing your cute little picture and was hating on you. That's what it was. The law of divine oneness. It holds me accountable, and it makes me remember that I'm not alone down here. Okay? If I need help, I can reach out. Somebody's there. I'm really not alone. We're all connected. Like that. So, number 2, the law of vibration. Everything in the universe moves and travels in circular patterns. I'm not going to talk about that today, but as an artist, I keep that in mind. 3, the law of action. Okay. This is the one that I want to start talking about. Action must be applied that supports our dreams and thoughts. Because as a spiritual person, sometimes people get mad at you when you talk about manifestation. But really, because I feel like some spiritual people only say, think about it and believe it and it's going to happen, and they leave out the part about the action. Like, this is a mathematical equation. Like, there's a mathematical equation to advancement and to success. Okay? Just like abundance is a frequency that you can tap into. Okay? Just like how, to me, from my experience and from my studies, God is the highest frequency. I don't know when they started turning God into a human. The highest frequency. So that's why it's like, I can't take nothing personally in life. It's not like somebody sitting there saying, oh, you're going to have a bad day today. Like, it's not like that. Everything is like frequency and vibrations and shit. And like, when you start studying science, these things make sense. You can't just tell me Santa Claus is real and then try to tell me about a God that low-key, the God you're talking about are extraterrestrials that were talking humans in the Bible. Like, the real God is a frequency. You got to start getting into goddamn quantum mechanics and whatnot to understand how the universe works. Like, give me the whole picture. This is what they need to be teaching in schools. Like, what are you talking about? It's a mathematical equation. People out here having existential crisis and killing themselves because they can't find God when it's everywhere. You are an expression of God. What do you mean? Do you see this spark in your eye? That is God. What do you mean? God expresses itself, herself, everywhere. Everywhere. People be complicating stuff. Next. Number 4, the law of correspondence. As so above, as so below. Okay? And this is why it is important for us to pay attention to planetary placements, not just the moon. Oh, it's a full moon. Everybody acting crazy. You don't want to know, like, what's behind that, like, how the moon actually affects the tides and the waves and the water inside of us, and, like, the science behind all of that. Like, what does it mean? Like, your mind don't ever ask you questions. Because I can't stop thinking about this shit. I've been this way since I was a child. Like, the things that mattered to other people never really mattered to me. That's why I was always, like, clowned when I was younger. I was always so serious and so, like, I had such an inquisitive mind. And my adoptive parents were so much older than me, and I lived a very sheltered life, went to private school, stayed in the house by myself, all that stuff. Was out in nature a lot, so I didn't really know how to be around people. And I didn't know that when you're around a bunch of ignoramuses, you need to hide your intelligence because they will eat your brain like a wolf. My stupid ass all in there, in the ghetto, using all these big words, dressed like Oprah, like a little cornball, didn't even know that you were the brunt of everyone's jokes. Like, that's how I was raised. Anyway, number 5, the law of cause and effect. Every action has a consequence or reaction. Okay. See, all right, I ain't gonna tell y'all what I did because I don't want to incriminate myself. But do you ever have a hard time determining whether something is a sin or not? Because it's like, okay, if I'm starving and I have a starving child and I have no money and I have the opportunity to maybe take a loaf of bread, I'm not taking it from like a small business. I'm taking it from like somewhere evil, like Walmart. Is that a sin? Because it's like, I'm starving. You put me on this hell planet, Lord. You know I don't want to do wrong when my baby is starving. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not very easy to decipher what is a sin. Because at the end of the day, I can relate a lot to spirit as far as loving people. And the people I love, I would not demonize them for doing what they have to do to survive. Okay? Okay? Like, I'm a whole female, and I'm a very modest female. Do I prefer women to have their booty all up in the camera and get their money on OnlyFans? No, I don't. Do I think that it kind of makes the world more dangerous for the rest of us because then it makes men hypersexualized and looked at us as sexual objects, and because you putting your coochie on the camera, they think we all put our coochie in the camera, and now all our coochie's at risk because you want it to be a hot pocket? Yeah. But, and now let me play devil's advocate and be fair now, some of them Megan Thee Stallion type female empowered other women. Are they being hypersexual? Yes. If I see my daughter doing any of them dances or spitting them lyrics, am I going to beat her ass? Yes. But it's kind of like what Cannabis said, God and Satan, two sides of the same organization. It's kind of like, it's all God expressing itself. I really can't judge nothing because it's all still God. Like, what you mean? And that's a hard truth that a lot of people don't want to face. Okay? It's all God. But yeah, every action has a consequence or reaction. So I think of it like that. I don't even think, okay, not is this a sin, but like, what is the consequence of my action? And I think that goes a lot deeper than is this a sin? Because when I get into that realm of thinking, I'm like beating myself up and indulging in guilt and thinking I'm not righteous and not good enough. Like, who want to be in that realm? And that's what I never liked about like growing up in the Christian church was all the guilt. Like, just for being human. God forbid you had sex and you weren't married. Oh, you're gonna burn in hell. Like, what? For real? Like, I don't want to get back in that realm of thinking because at the end of the day, we still humans, baby. And biologically, we're animals. And I've seen animals do some very horrible things. Very horrible things. So I feel like we down here doing the best that we can do. Like, we're trying. We're trying. The law of cause and effect. So now I do what they taught us to do in rehab, which was put yourself in a situation before it even happens and walk through how you're going to react to those things. so that when it happens, you know what to do. So now I just have this mindset of before I make a major decision, like a chessboard, be 3 or 4 or 5, 6. I look at the consequences. Like, all right, if I do this, this, or this can happen. Then that will cause this, and this to happen. That will affect this, and that. And it's like this graph in my head that shows me which path to take. These these are practical ways for me to change my thinking and help me make decisions. But now we get started getting into what helps me with my anxiety, okay? Because we're all managing fear in one way or another. The law of compensation. Number 6. The effects of our deeds are given to us in abundance, gifts, friendships, money, inheritances, and blessings. I said, hold up, right now. I got a payment plan in the universal law. What? Let's run that back. The effects of our deeds. The effects of our deeds now are given to us in abundance, gifts, friendships, money, inheritances, and blessings. How many of y'all have been defining your success based on what you have materialistically? Have you ever considered that your health is success? Your mindset, as in you're positive, you're a go-getter, you're driven, that seems pretty successful. Relationships that aren't toxic, that seems successful to me. Because for some reason, I started defining the quality of my life based on what I had. Because I was looking at what everybody else was doing. That's not my path. This one universal law has stopped me from falling into a deep depression. I understand that I was only counting my blessings based on what I had materialistically. But when I looked at how healthy I am, how I have a gift for expression, I have artistic gifts, I have spiritual gifts, okay? I have my wherewithal, which a lot of people don't have. I've been through a lot. I've had attempts made on my life. I've actually lost my life before from overdose and came back. Like, those are gifts. Like, blessings are also abundance. Having family members that actually love you and don't try to kill you, that's abundance. Having information, the ability to read something, retain the information, and then apply that information to your life and change, bro, I'm sorry. Until I went to rehab, I didn't realize how many people don't have basic life skills, and that's a big deal. Like, they don't know what the hell is going on. They don't know how to get insurance. They don't know nothing about no damn 401k. They don't, girl, they could barely put together a meal, let alone a budget. So that started to show me, girl, you better start getting grateful for what you have before you're blessed with more. Honestly, because it's like, with you having that, oh, I gotta go, having that mentality, I promise you, once you get the money, it's not gonna satisfy. Because every time I set a big goal and I reach it, I freak the fuck out. I worry about keeping it. Every time I get a big chunk of money, I worry about keeping it. I don't want to spend it. I want to hide it. And honey, that's not how money works. Money has to flow. It's an energy. Come on now. You study the richest people in the world. Ooh, I was trying to show you this book. You know that's not what you're supposed to be doing, because worrying is an abundance blocker. You're connecting with lack frequency. So it just showed me the effects of my deeds. And I love it, so eloquently stated. The effects of our deeds. And it made me think more about the energy I was putting into the things I'm doing. Are you putting out a video so that you can make somebody smile? Or are you trying to get a like? You ain't never heard me once ask for a like, share, or subscribe. That is not what I'm here for. Things like that. Your intentions when you do stuff matters. So this made me feel a lot more hopeful about my future, and it made me feel rich and abundant. Because in order to get rich, you got to feel rich. Okay. That's why they say you got to spend money to make money. If you don't have no money and you want to make money, do your hair, give yourself a facial, put on clothes that you love to see your body in, make yourself a fancy meal, stand outside in the wind and drink something that makes you feel magnificent. You feel rich. You align with being rich. Oh, that's so perfect. Because number 7 is the law of attraction. Our feelings, words, and actions attract like energies. And like, we be out here doing witchcraft every day. Just open up your mouth. Witchcraft. That's it. Negative thought, witchcraft. Y'all ain't got to make voodoo dolls out of nobody. You already cursing people with your negativity and your judgments. Our feelings, words, and actions attract like energies. That's why I don't say I'm broke. Why would you ever say that? Why would you ever say that? I don't want to speak on nothing that I don't want to attract outside of expressing my frustration in the moment. But it always comes from a place of solutions. And because you got to get it out. When you are sad, angry, horny, feeling violent, whatever, that needs to be expressed. And you can do it in a toxic way by, jerking off or, cracking somebody's neck or, getting high. Or you can do it in a productive way, writing, working out, sparring, playing with your dog, creating art. There are productive ways to get that up out of you. You see what I'm saying? But I love this because, again, the accountability, and it gives me something I can hold on to. Universal law. Because sometimes people like to blame God for their situation, but it's like, oh, the cards I was dealt is not fair. He's rich, I'm poor. We don't have the same opportunities in life. You all have the same opportunity to find out who you are and to build your life. I feel like the ones that come out in low places, we're the ones that's special because is the story better starting out from nothing and working your way up to everything? Or is the story better that you already came with everything and lost it? Don't nobody like the rich. Don't nobody care. If your story was, oh, I was rich and could travel around the world, never had to pay a bill, and then you lost it all, don't nobody care. It's not inspiring. We don't care. They're going to laugh at you. Oh, well. Don't nobody feel sorry for rich people. We don't care. But the underdog, the one that was born with nothing, that was spit on, that was raped, thrown away, told that they would never be nothing. All they had was themselves, that pain that drove them to God, and they prospered from the mud. Isn't that more inspiring? I think it is. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy. All persons have within them the power to alter the conditions of their lives. Now, if that ain't a way for you to stop blaming God for your situation, I don't know what is. Let me read it again. The law of perpetual transmutation, because energy doesn't rest. It gets transmuted. It's got to move around. I read somewhere because I was studying my chart, my birth chart, and it said that dormant energy in my body turns into anxiety and stress. So you know what I did? I started working out more. I'll be working out 3 times a day. Sometimes that's stretching for a few minutes. Sometimes that's doing push-ups. Moving my body around makes me feel less stressed. Getting stuff done. If I start to feeling anxiety, I will go clean something, go cook something, go create something. This is how I manage my mental health. Otherwise, I'm always stressed. I always feel like somebody's about to kick in my door and kill me because that's happened to me before. So that trauma is stuck in my body. So I've had to isolate myself and have a life that is based around healing myself because I will tweak the fuck off up out in here. I don't even leave my house. I feel, first of all, I can hear people thoughts and see demons and spirits and shit and people, and some of these things walk around here ain't human. I ain't scared of none of that, but don't nobody feel like dealing with that when you trying to go to the store. Okay? I don't want to hear none of y'all nasty little thoughts. So that's one reason. And then just, it's too much. It's overwhelming. The sun be too bright. Hurt my eyes. The smells just intensified. Ever since I gotten pregnant, I can smell everything. I can smell the people downstairs. It's not funny. I hate getting in lifts. Oh my God. I can smell the sweat on people. And it drives me nuts. But I'm very perceptive. I'm very perceptive. I know when people are lying to me. I can see things, especially if I touch somebody. But on the flip side, I can't let people touch me because it hurts. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy. All persons have within them the power to alter the conditions of their lives. So that would make sense why they built the sphere matrix, because they want you to have self-doubt and think that you are dependent and need people. See, no, we are interdependent, meaning what we do affects everybody else. You understand? We all connected, spiritual. All right? That don't mean we are dependent, like, oh, I can't do shit without you. No. You can do anything with yourself and the higher spirit. Like, that's about it. Like, that's really all you need. You and God. You, God, and nature. Because at the end of the day, that's all that there is. People do not care. I'm telling y'all, even y'all family, your mamas and daddies and best friends, husbands, wives, they don't give a goddamn about y'all feelings. They're going to put themselves first. If somebody came in there today and they're like, who we taking, you or him? Head ass. You know what I'm saying? We all have the power inside of us to change the conditions of our lives. That's fucking refreshing. 9, the law of relativity. Now this is when it starts to getting good. Again, because we like to blame God for our situations, right? Check this shit out here. It says, each person will receive a series of challenges. Each person, all of us, will receive a series of challenges, tests of initiation. Pause. Do you remember when I was talking about getting out of this reincarnation loop? Yes. We are here to evolve our souls so that we don't have to keep being reincarnated here and used as energy food for the 1%. What the bloodline from Mars, the Rothschilds and all them other fools, the ones that run everything down here, and so they saying, finna die, love to feed off of our fear and ignorance, which is the whole military industrial complex type shit, you know, sending your kids to public schools to train them how to be slaves and worker bees and not remember that they are demigods and can literally create things with their mind. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? The government knows that y'all can do spiritual stuff. They know that. Men in Black wasn't just made the fuck up. That shit is real. I'm telling you, half the people at the post office are aliens. Each person will receive a series of challenges, tests of initiation for the purpose of strengthening the light within. We are here to elevate our souls. We ain't gotta be here. What you wanna be? You wanna be an angel? You wanna be an ancestor? Because I know I'm an ancestor in training. Because I ain't finna get out their business. Their babies gonna get visits from me on the regular. I'm not leaving my bloodline. Absolutely not. I would love to be a warring angel. That would be amazing. Ba-ba! Listen to God. Ba-ba-ba-ba! Listen to God. I would eat that up. Consider each test a call to action and remain connected to our hearts while proceeding to problem solve. We are in training. Earth is a training ground. Ain't nobody putting you through all this stuff because they got it out for you or God ain't real. What are you talking about? Okay? We need to earn being up there in the higher realms. We can't be there dense as fuck. Humans are dense as hell. Literally hell, we dense as hell. We are dense. Okay? We have to become light bodies. You know what I'm saying? Let go of all that fear and anger. That is what it means when you have to forgive people. It's not about forgiving people because they deserve it. It's about releasing that energy, because if you hold on to that, you'll be too dense to elevate. Forgive people for you, not for them. Fuck them. Forgive people for you. This is about your energy. Remember, everything is energy, yo. You got to remember that. That's core. Each person will receive a series of challenges, tests of initiation for the purpose of strengthening the light within. Consider each test a call to action and remain connected to our hearts while proceeding to problem solve. Compare your problems to others and see them when they are worse off and see how blessed you are. Real shit. It's that heart-centered thing, because I know I say be hard, but I mean be hard in a way of like be adaptable. When life go like this, you be like, ugh, type shit. Not be hard and like don't listen to spirit. No, I don't mean like harden your heart. It's very hard to live down here and not harden your heart, especially when people have done you so wrong. You wake up and you go online and you see injustice all the time, and it just makes you angry. You know what I'm saying? Especially when the people look like you and you can relate to their struggle, and you're like, yo, this shit is not fair. I'm stuck in this matrix. I'm stuck. No, yo, you're really not. That's a game that's being played with you. Joker and Batman. Come on, yo. This is about your mindset. You can live in heaven or you can live in hell based on how you perceive the world. It's about perception. And remember, we down here being tested, okay? You're not being punished. You're being tested. It's like Super Mario Brothers, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to pass that stage to get to the next stage. That's like reincarnation. And I'm not about to keep playing the same board over and over again. Like, once you see what it is you need to work on, fucking fix it. What do you think generational curses are? Y'all bloodline keep doing the same dumb shit. Somebody need to stop the bullshit at some point. Like, don't you get tired? Like, what kind of life is that? Oh, wake up. Send the kids off. First of all, send the kids off to who and to what? I ain't sending my kid off nowhere. Nowhere. I don't know them people. Send your kid off to strangers so you don't see them for 8 hours. They're eating God knows what, being told God knows what. Who knows? Because you ain't there. Then you at work for 12 hours a day. Miserable, upset. When do we get time for development? When do we get time for magic? When do we get time for education? When do we get time to seek spirit? That is not a life. That is a lie and a distraction. So the law of relativity reminds us that the things that we go through are here for our development. Let's just get out our feelings and go on and accept that when we get met with a challenge, that's what it is. It's a challenge. Don't you like to win challenges? Don't you feel fulfilled? It's just challenging. Don't feel like there's no solution. There's a solution to every fucking problem. You know Einstein now, okay? He said about himself that he was no more intelligent than the next man. He just sat with problems longer than the average man. What? Yeah. There's always a solution. There was this gangster. I'm sure y'all know. I can't remember his name. He wrote a book. I think he ended up snitching and then got out. But he had so much pull in the street, nobody tried to kill him. I don't know. Anyway, he was in New York. He was a big-time cocaine dealer in the 70s, okay? So what he said was, it's amazing how so many gangsters want to be samurai in their minds. Weird. Anyway, so he said whenever he had a big problem and he needed to figure it out, he would go into a room with just a chair in it and nothing else and lock the door and sit there in the dark until he figured it out. I study 19 Keys. I don't know if y'all know him or whatever. I feel like he mostly talks to young men, but whatever. I have sons, so I like to listen to all aspects of spirituality. So I learned about monk mode through him. And that's what old school was doing, monk mode. You stop having sex, you go on a fast, you get off social media, you stop talking to people, you go in your room, you lock the door, and you work out, pray, meditate, and read books until you figure your shit out. I live my life like that every day. Other than I do talk to my kids and like take care of business around here. But monk mode, yes. So now we are on to number 10. The law of polarity. Transform undesirable thoughts by concentrating on its opposite. This is the law of mental vibrations. Everything is on a continuum and everything has an opposite. There's two things I want to talk about with this. The continuum. Girl, everything is always changing. I can't stand when somebody be like, I can't do that. What do you mean you can't do that because nobody else did it? Things are always changing. Like, literally every second. The universe is expanding and things change. You don't ever have to feel stuck. It's so real. You know how they said, think outside the box? Girl, it ain't no box. It ain't no box. Who told you it was a box? That's that control shit. There is no box. There is no ceiling. There's just space and opportunity. We be holding ourselves back. We need to stop listening to people. Especially miserable people that eat at McDonald's. The law of polarity. And this is alchemy. I've been studying alchemy for years, okay? I'm not trying to turn lead into gold. I'm trying to turn negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Negative behavioral patterns into positive behavioral patterns. And this is a technique I was using before I even started studying universal law. It's basically like this. If you have a habit of being negative to yourself in your mind, like, say you got an opportunity, okay? Like, I'm in this contest to be America's next hit maker, okay? See, my old mind could be like, girl, you ain't finna win that. So as soon as you have that thought, you counteract that thought with, hey, it may be a long shot, but anything could possibly happen. You know what I'm saying? Just counteracting a negative thought with a positive one is that easy and that difficult. You just have to constantly do it. And that's why I don't, like, outside of my kids, I don't talk to anybody because I'm constantly doing mental exercises. I'm constantly having to check my mind, that opposition that tries to tell me I'm not good enough. Because, see, that's what I was fed. That's what was fed into me my whole life as a child. That my ideas were stupid and that I was weird, okay? And that I wasn't gonna be anything, that I had to be what they wanted me to be, or I'll be worth nothing. So after like 20, 30 years of that, you're really having to reprogram your subconscious, and nobody can do that for you. No pill is going to do that for you. That's why, regardless of me on paper being bipolar, because my body chemicals are off and I just have to work a lot harder to manage my emotions, like I said, I will click off, but I'm constantly managing my mental health and my temperance. Okay, I'm the poster child for temperance. It even says it in my chart. Like, in order for everything to be okay, I have to stay calm. I have to stay calm and logical. I have a lot of water in my chart. I have a lot of trauma in my body. And I cannot allow myself to go off on emotional tangents. I can't. I have to stay logical and I have to stay grounded. I do a lot of centering work. I feel like I'm in a constant state of prayer. I'm always moving around. I have to be very conscious of my thoughts because I'm a great manifester. Hurt my feelings if you want to. I remember the first time I hurt somebody because they hurt me with my mind. It was a skinny white girl. She wasn't white. She was this mixed girl. She was like this gay girl that was with this other girl, and they were like the it couple. And she was really pretty. Everybody, like, glorified her because she was pretty, but she was really snobby, and she was a bully, and she would bully me. So one day, like, I just got really sick of it, and I was just like, I hope something fucking happens to her, yo. And I heard that girl scream. She was on the phone, and her father had died. And then when she ran down to tell her girlfriend, she busted her ass down the steps and busted her head open. Yeah. Law of polarity. Transforming undesirable thoughts by concentrating on its opposite. Because everything has an opposite. And that's why it's like we can't get too deep into, oh my God, we live in hell because there's bad things happening here. Okay, let's go back to science. Without negative, you don't have positive. It's just the nature of things. There's always going to be lower level entities. There's always going to be some level of negativity. Or the rest of us going to cease to exist. There's light within darkness and darkness within light. You can't have one without the other. It's just like, which side are you working for? What do you commune with? What energy resonates with you? You know what I'm saying? Are you on demon time or angel time? Or a little bit of both. Law of polarity. That's a good way to try to transmute them negative thoughts and stop beating yourself up mentally. Because if you're never going to get anywhere. How can you get somewhere positive with a negative state of mind? What is the point? One day I had to tell myself, girl, what if all you did was focus on the positive? Because I was so stuck in my past and what I was doing wrong and what I didn't have. I was miserable and I was literally dying. I was dying. My spirit was dying. I was killing myself with my mind. Who does that? I'll be damned. I'll be damned. No, ma'am. So now we uplift ourselves from the inside. I look in that mirror, I look at my gut, and I say, gut, you finna get up out of here. But while you're here, I love you. I look in that mirror and I say, hey, Fury, I love you. You got this. Everything is going to be okay. Remember who you are. I do that all the time because I have to remember that. I don't want that to come from anybody else. Because if validation comes from other people, when they start validating me, what I'm supposed to hate myself? I used to only view myself through the lens of being somebody's wife or mother. But then when I had them things taken from me, I ceased to exist in my mind. No, ma'am. You more than somebody's mama, husband, girlfriend, side piece. You a demigod. We are co-creating with the highest frequency, which is love. We need to be heart-centered and positive, which is easier said than done, but this is training. This is not coming here to already know. This is not you being perfect or always being happy, toxic positivity. And I would beat myself up for having a bad day or being angry. You're allowed to be angry. But in that moment, that's when we process our emotions. I was never raised to process my emotions. What is that? I had to lose my mind, lose my home, lose my kids, lose my dignity before I went into rehab and learned about these things. I didn't know what the hell processing emotions were. I didn't even know what a rehab was. I thought that was something that famous people did in LA. I didn't know that was something that Medicaid covered on the East Coast. The law of rhythm. Everything vibrates and moves to certain rhythms. These rhythms establish seasons, cycles, and stages of development and patterns. Each cycle reflects the regularity of God's universe. So the one thing that stuck out to me with this is about cycles and stages of development. Because when I'm looking around and I'm like, dang, I should have 10 grand in the bank. Dang, I should be looking at land right now. Cycles and stages of development. What season are you in? Okay? You in the season of your ass just got out of rehab 5 years ago. Okay? You just lost your husband 2 years ago. And you are just now starting businesses. And I think you're doing pretty good for what you've been through. What season are you in? You don't jump from that to being a millionaire. Cycles. You understand what I'm saying? That helps me understand where I'm at. Because I can get off in my head comparing myself to other people all I want. It's not helpful. I, except for when you feel alone, you're like, well, I have more than a lot of people. That's coming from a grateful place. That's what we talk about energy. Are you coming from a place of feeling sorry for yourself, or are you coming from a place of trying to relate to others? When I'm looking at someone else, are you coveting what they have, or are you saying, damn, I have more than a lot of people, and I'm grateful for what I have? I ain't even gonna hold you. I watch a lot of documentaries about third world countries. I'm happy to have running water. There are people who have more kids than me and live in much hotter countries and have to walk to get their water. And when stuff starts to looking funny to me, and I'm too in the world, and I'm focusing on the wrong shit, I look at that water. I look at my clean clothes. I look at them kids that aren't dead. I look at all my limbs that are intact, and I say, you know what, girl, say thank you and keep it moving. Cycles and stages of development. Helpful. Last one, the law of gender. Everything has a masculine and feminine principle. This is the basis for all creation. Master balancing these energies to become a true co-creator with God. I don't have issues with being female anymore. I used to, just because the way I was raised and the way I was treated, it gave that being feminine made you a victim. I grew up in Baltimore City, and like I've had people throw bottles at me and shit because they tried to holler at me, like men or whatever. And if you like ignore them, they're like attack you type stuff. So like I started to dress more masculine and act more masculine because I didn't want to be a victim. And it wasn't until after I had children and got married that I started to tap into my feminine energy. But it wasn't until after I lost my like everything and had to rebuild myself and reconnect with God, and I saw the beauty of the divine feminine, and I was actually introduced to the divine feminine. Because I'm sorry, growing up as a Christian, they basically wrote powerful women out of the Bible. But like when I started studying the Gnostic Gospels and deities, you know what I'm saying, I started learning about the basis of creation, the dark ethereal ooze, you know what I'm saying, our great mother, and how powerful women are, and the power that I have because I am a woman, and also the responsibility that comes with it. Because pouring love into these men so that they don't become toxic and try to control us, and not pouring too much into them so that they feel like they become too powerful and try to take over everything, like what happened in my marriage. Do you know this man had the nerve to tell me that he cheated on me because I treated him like a god, and he got too big of a head because I poured too much into him, and he got overcome with ego. I tried to choke him where he stood. I wrote this in my journal. I am woman. I am the ocean. I am abundance. I am nature. I flow naturally. I ooze wealth. Because the more I learn about the divine feminine, I realize that we embody abundance. We are the water. We are the healers naturally. So that is the 12 universal laws, child. But that was just from one chapter. There's several more chapters where they go really deep into each law and start to tell you how to manipulate energy. It's stuff in here like being non-judgmental and the nature of humans, the nature of God, all types of helpful stuff. Yes. Our oneness is perfect and expresses this perfection as unconditional love and support. Whatever unfolds is God happening. When we see other than unconditional love unfolding, we are not seeing clearly. We create unclarity to have the experiences that we came into human form to have. When we are ready to see with greater clarity, we embrace whatever is before us in unconditional love, trusting that the universe in its constant expression of unconditional love, is sending us the perfect support. With practice, our clarity grows, along with our appreciation for the unconditional love and support that is always present. Universal law. Let's get into these comments. Actually, I don't want to do it on my phone. Let me do it from my computer. Do you love Jungkook from BTS? What? You talking about that little Asian boy band? I heard that they were like ops, like a psyop. I have a son that listens to that, my oldest son. Hot potato. Hey Valeria. Do you okay? Um, are they paint? What's up, Tone Dubs? Hey Taylor. Thank you. Agent Neptune. Chad Watson. Harry Brown. I love your tattoos on my neck. Thank you. There's an interesting story behind that. Yeah. All of my tattoos have meaning. I had something really traumatic happen to me, and it really killed who I was. And when I woke up, I was just a total different version of myself. And Spirit led me to get this tatted on me, and that's who I've been since then. What's up, Hervey? We are saved by faith in on God to meet all of our needs. Yeah, John, but again, action. You know, we can't just expect God to save us. We have to save ourselves. We got to put some action behind stuff. Even if the only action you can do is faith and in your mind. Like if you can't move and you're trying to be provided by God, there's still something you can do to give to someone else so that you can get that back in return. Medea, Standard New York. Hello from New York. What's up, yo? What's up from Maryland? Stain X Falcon. People of knowledge are there for a reason. Finding a conclusion for yourself by yourself without proper education is a dumb idea. But here's the thing. It's like, what would you be basing your conclusions off of? That's just like people who have opinions but no information. You have to get more information to try to form a bigger picture before you can have feelings about it. Almost 3 years. Oh, Christine Hervey, congratulations. Sobriety is not easy. Congratulations, I appreciate you. Relax, you creep. I have a song named Creep. Manny Fresh, you need the most high. We all need the most high. I'm a man. What is your advice for me? I don't give advice. I just share my story. I don't give advice unless someone's paying me to give it to them, because it's not my place to pass a judgment on anything that you're going through. I don't have enough information to do that. I can only share what I know from my experience and what I've gone through. Yep, that's everything. That's everybody. But yeah, that was all I wanted to talk about this week. As far as the goals that I set for last week, I have not meditated on land. I meditate in the water. It is very, very hard for me to meditate on land. I don't know. And I keep trying to force myself to do it because the other members of my family can do it. I don't know. I can certainly try a guided meditation, but it's just not, I don't know. I don't even feel comfortable in the water to get to that level. But if I don't do it next week, I think I'm just going to let it go until it pops up on my spectrum again. I don't think I'm going to keep pressing the issue. You know, if I'm meant to meditate, then I'll meditate. I feel like I'm doing enough just staying in my regular spiritual practices and working out and staying in constant prayer and doing my reprogramming my subconscious to be positive and not be beating up on myself mentally and stay in a positive state of mind. I feel like that's enough work for right now. You know, I can only work on so many things at one time. Kids have been doing well this week. Haven't really had any problems out of them. Everybody seems to be doing okay. Um, what's my sign? So, in Western astrology, my sun sign is Scorpio. My rising sign is Pisces. And my moon is Gemini. I wanted to jump off of a bridge when I found out I was a Gemini. I have two Gemini suns, and oh my God. But I learned how to harness those energies. I'm a Scorpio in the street, I'm a Pisces with my kids, and I'm a Gemini on social media. I had to learn how to work with the energies and just not see the bad sides of certain signs. But in Vedic astrology, my sun sign is a Pisces. I have so much water in my chart. And oh my God, going through that Vedic chart, having to find out what the with the Shivas and the lords and stuff meant, like, oh my God. I had to learn so much. It's taken me a long time to go through that chart, but I find it very helpful to go through your birth chart and understand your placements. And it basically gives you a roadmap to challenges that you are going to have to face just based on the energies you were born under. A lot of people have a misconception that it's like fortune telling. Like, nobody can tell your fortune. But just like your genetics, you are, what's the words? Not premeditated. Lord have mercy. Pisces, Virgo. Oh my God, I love a good Virgo. Apparently, they're a perfect match for a Scorpio. I love your drive. One of my Pisces kids is a Virgo rising, and he's very ambitious. Very ambitious. Very perceptive as well. He's not one you can lie to. You know, you can see the bullshit coming from a mile away. He also has prophetic dreams. And he also doesn't sleep very much. He pushes himself way too hard. Way too hard. And he's very doubtful. You know. Sure. I can make you a mod. Hold on. There you go, Liliana. But my therapist came back off of vacation this week, and I was actually happy to talk to her. She wants me to get out more, and I feel like I did, but it's really hot in Maryland right now. I'm not really into going outside. I cannot stand the heat. You know, no problem. I appreciate you. I don't like for all the reasons I already told you that I'm not trying to go outside until we move out of the city and we're around all of these energies. I really prefer not to be out there. I get very overwhelmed. I need my environment to be just so. Everything I have is always in the same place because if something gets moved, I get totally thrown off. Like, I get confused. I don't know where I'm at. I have to mark off the days on the calendar because I'll lose track of days very easily. And so my environment affects my mental health. When I wake up, after I pray, before my feet hit the ground, I'm praying and calling my energy back to me, acknowledging God and Holy Spirit, and my ancestors, everybody, all of y'all, and centering myself. Blink, blink, blink. Okay, I'm here. But once my feet hit the ground, I'm already cleaning. I walk right in the kitchen, start running dishwater, wiping off all the counters, giving the cat her food and water if fire hasn't gotten up before me and done it, cleaning out the litter box, clean the bathroom. I just woke up. This is what I do every single day, 3 times a day. So it's like when I go outside and there's trash everywhere, like, it's hard for me not to start cleaning wherever I'm at and organizing shit. It's hard for me not to get involved. It's so real. Like, when I was younger, I could see radiations of pain in people. And it's not like a seeing, it's like a see-feel type situation. Perceiving people's pain is the best I could say. And I would just, you know how I was a server, so you would walk past somebody and just be like, hey, do you need anything? I would kind of end up touching where they had pain, and they would just be like, oh. And people would start coming to me just for health advice and stuff like that. Interesting. Yes. So altogether, my husband and I had 6 children over 20 years of marriage. My 3 older boys No, it's two older boys that have moved out, and then the youngest boy, he went to Job Corps and got himself kicked out. He all engaged in doing his own thing, and then I have the other three. So we had five boys and one girl. We were together from the age of 18 up until I was 40. We were together for 20 years. And he's dead now. He died on his birthday 2 years ago. He actually told me he would be dead before I saw him again. Um, there's a lot of history there. He was also a very spiritual person, but he actually worked with darker forces. So, my kids are basically demon angel babies. Half of them are like their dad, half of them are like me. And they fight a lot of genetic demons. Let's put it like that, child. So, my entire life is based around healing and developing my family. Um, I appreciate you, but he had to go. Um, Nobody was safe spiritually or physically with him being alive. Uh, I cussed his ass out so bad before he died. Like a dog, I told him the truth about himself. And some people in my family think spiritually I took him out because it just get to a point where your ancestors only going to take so much. If you're not going to end your toxic relationships, they will end them for you. And it was one of them. It was a him or us situation. It gets real deep. Being a thug is not cute in real life. When that boy told me that he was a murderous, demon worshiping killer, I should have believed him and not married him. I should not have thought that it was romantic that he was stalking me when I was in college. I should not have gone on the run with him down to South Carolina, but that's what I did. It's just my life. But I share my story because people need to know that there is life after loss. I started my YouTube channel because, well, first of all, somebody tried to kill me. Then my ex-husband got out of rehab and tried to embarrass me and drag my name through the mud. And then everybody that I thought was my friend acted like I didn't exist. And he put out a narrative on social media that everybody believed. And I wasn't about to have people keep talking about me and my kids and saying the wrong thing. Like, I was not going to keep living my life in silence because I've had a lot of supernatural experiences. I've had a lot of crazy life experiences. Like I said, I've had attempts on my life before. I was married to one of the biggest coke dealers out here, okay, in the DMV. So, like, I've seen a lot of crazy shit. And I feel like that story needs to be shared. I feel like I've been wrongly judged most of my life, and the people that I embraced that were closest to me betrayed me. All of them. And I was too blind to see it because I've always had such a blindness through my heart, man. When I loved. Everybody I've ever slept with, I thought we were going to be together forever. Nobody told me that that's not how that worked. Nobody told me that when people say that I love you, they might not mean it. When people say I'll be right back, you may never see them again. I've been through a lot. I'm supposed to be dead, apparently. 1, 2, 3 attempts on my life and 2 overdoses. Yeah. But I'm still here. And a lot of the people that hurt me are not. So that shows me, because I have a gift for expression and for art, I'm a writer. I've got my music. I've got my painting. I've got my videos. The fact that I can articulate what I've been through and connect with people and hopefully give someone else a spark or show them that giving up is not an option, yo. If you don't feel loved or supported, understand that your existence affects the rest of us. And you don't know how you're affecting other people. You may think that your life is so terrible and you don't have a girlfriend and you don't have the job that you want. But that lady that you smile at every morning that you get a coffee from 7-Eleven, she was ready to kill herself before you smiled at her. You don't understand that sometimes your sole purpose is just to exist and love other people and be an example of how not to be a douchebag. Really, that's it. I can't can't tell you how many of my friends tried to commit suicide because they didn't have a passion. Their parents were pressuring them to find a purpose or go into a certain, just like my parents tried to pressure me to go into a certain career or whatever. I got this on whatever. I ain't even a real child anyway. I'm whole ass adopted. I don't even know where I'm from. Okay, they allegedly adopted me at 6 months. Ain't showing me adoption paperwork first. I'm a whole missing person out here in these streets. Where y'all get me from? Still ain't told me. Okay. Pushing, yes. Confidence, that comes from rage. Like, because you're not going to tell me about me. That confidence really came from pure rage, pure anger, from being betrayed, from being talked down on. Like, I've always been the underdog, and I'm confident. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. But I'm confident because I'm still standing. Like, I have witnessed myself do things that I've never seen anybody else do. I have accomplished things that I saw other people not even try to do. People just gave up on their life. They gave up on trying to get off drugs. They gave up on trying to improve themselves. They gave up on their education. They gave up on trying to find true love. They gave up on trying to seek God. They gave up on life. I don't have that luxury. I have kids. I'm sorry. Once I had them, nothing else mattered. Like, we don't have that luxury, some of us, to just say fuck it. Because guess what happens when you say fuck it? You get brought back here. Again, want to get out of the reincarnation loop, 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 loop. I be so focused on my soul. I don't care about nothing nobody got going on out here. I mind my business and I stay in my lane. And, you know, people are so rude and mean and evil. It's not a flex. Like, you're remedial. It's not cute to be mean or evil or any of those things. So, like, developing yourself into a better human being is fulfilling. Because you ever, like, eat a full meal and still not be fulfilled? You be like, yo, I know I'm not hungry. I'm bloated. I got to go to the bathroom. I'm not hungry, but I don't feel fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not living your soul purpose. You worried about the wrong shit. How you look, how people perceive you. Now what I'm concerned about is how my ancestors and how God perceives me. I really be thinking about, yo, it's been such an issue for me. Like, is God proud of me? You know what I'm saying? Is God ashamed of me? I want God to be proud of me because I don't have parents. If I had parents, I want them to be proud of me. Oh, well, God is my parent. Nature is my mother. Okay? I want them to be proud of me. I want to treat this earth properly. I want to make sure that my ancestors see that I'm taking good care of my kids. I pray to them every morning, please let me be the best version of myself. Because first of all, I don't want to do shit. I don't ever want to get up out of bed. Honestly, I don't even want to live. Who wants to go through this? Having to wash your body and pee and make money and worry about this, worry about that. Don't nobody want to be here. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to do nothing. If it wasn't for my kids, I would not do anything at all. I would not get up in the morning. For what? I don't want to. So I connect with them ancestors and ask them, please give me the strength to be a great leader. Please let me be more of what you want me to be than what I want to be. Because I want to be a damn animal. Rip people's heads off. But we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Yeah, speaking of that, after I got this, I got that. Never forget what I've been through, what I've seen, and what I'm here for. Because I used to go to sleep with all these grand ideas and I'm going to change and things will be different tomorrow. And then I would wake up and I would forget. I would totally forget. There were months at a time where I would forget that I was even a musician. I wouldn't be writing or anything because I was on drugs, because I wasn't dealing with the traumas that had happened to me. I was not in a healthy relationship and I had no voice and I was collapsing inside of myself. And the fact that I broke free from that, first of all, getting out of a toxic relationship, that's one hurdle that a lot of people don't get out of. Getting out of the inner city and moving out of a toxic environment, that's one cycle some people never get out of. And being a fucking drug addict to every drug known to man and coming up out of that with my sane mind and my hind parts intact, girl, bye. Because half the people I went to rehab with are either dead or still on drugs. They be going to rehab every year like it's a vacation spot. I'm blessed and I'm grateful, and I have to share my story with others. I just have to. Yeah, so that's about it for me. So, moving forward next week, I'm not even going to list meditating as a goal, because it's not a goal. I don't want to. I don't want to meditate on land. It's hot. I feel more comfortable in water. I'm just going to keep doing that and keep working on my evening routine. I've been doing better with not being on media too much because I get overwhelmed. That's another part of being sensitive is I'm sensitive to what is it called? Stimuli. I get overstimulated just from being on my phone or being on social media or being around too many people. Like, y'all come in here one at a time. I don't want all the kids in here one time. Overstimulated. So I had to understand that my diet is also what I'm watching, not just what I'm eating. And I just need to be more mindful. So moving forward this week, I have a project that I'm almost done with. And if I do what I'm supposed to do, I will tell you what that project is next Saturday. I'll actually debut it here if it's done. Because I've been wanting to tell y'all about it for months. I've been working on it for months and I'm really excited to share it with you. But if I do what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to set one goal this week. Just one. All right, I got a book saying just do one thing different. Because when we try to change, we try to change too many things. So let's just do one thing. I'm going to finish this one project that's almost done. I'm going to finish it this week, and then we'll talk about it next week, okay? Thank you so much for spending time with me here in Fury World. This has been All Things Female. I love you. Have a great week. Reach out to me on my business email if you're interested in a private one-on-one. You can check out my music on all streaming platforms worldwide. My artist name is The Fury of Abyss. And as always, I love you. Have a great week. I'll catch you next week, y'all. Peace.